Sawadee krap and good morning. First of all, I would like to welcome all the guests and press members to the 2013 Global Dialogue on Sustainable Development. This is, of course, another proudest moment of Thailand to arrange the first Global Dialogue on Sustainable Development in Thailand and even in ASEAN in our region. This is by the collaboration of three parties altogether: Co Roundtable, Thai Chamber of Commerce, and TDRI. And of course, as you have seen on the VTR already, we have already been facing serious issues in our future. And we keep talking about SD for many years, and of course, with hope and at the same time, doubts. That is the reason why today's event, we are aiming to raise awareness and build up moral capital, also to exchange knowledge and experiences in best practices and in other successful sustainable development projects. And today, we have the honor of the world-class counselors. And we believe that today's event will be a great opportunity for global dialogue, for networking, as well as collaboration in every sector, nationally and internationally, for our world's future. And to officially start the global dialogue, may I invite Mr. PANYARACHUN, the former Prime Minister of Thailand and UNICEF Ambassador for Thailand, for an opening remarks. Please welcome Mr. PANYARACHUN.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, many of us see our world in crisis at the moment from multiple sources. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change recently released its 2013 report on climate change, confirming evidence that human exploitation and pollution of the planet are fueling increases in temperatures, including the deep oceans. Polar ice caps are melting faster than expected, and sea levels are rising. Soon millions of people will be driven from their homes. Insurance companies also warn us of increases in extreme weather events, fires, floods, hurricanes, with their fatal implications for many species on the planet. Economists continue to remind us that environmental changes have economic and social implications. It would be cheaper if we acted sooner rather than later. Experts are urging world leaders to speed up their efforts to tackle climate change and create a safer and more prosperous world. But it seems many people are not listening to these kinds of talks, and it gets worse. In the economic sphere, we have too often seen effects of unbridled capitalism that has virtually brought much of the world to its economic knees. I'm, of course, referring to the most recent 2008 and 2009 global financial crisis. Many countries and communities have still not recovered from that crisis, and most of the perpetrators have simply become wealthier. Few have been brought to justice. Sad to say, little appears to have changed since that crisis in how extreme capitalism works and the extent to which greed dominates, whether in acquiring wealth or in overconsumption of the Earth's resources. Instead of working towards, pardon me, Instead of working towards level playing fields for international trade, humane working conditions for all, and more generous and effective aid to poor countries, we have seen a few individuals and nations grow extremely rich. In addition, the United Nations food agencies have reported recently that some 842 million people, roughly 1 in 8 of the world population, suffered from chronic hunger in the period from 2011 to 2013. The vast majority of them are located in developing regions. The report also stated that despite the progress made worldwide, marked differences in hunger reduction persist. If there is one lesson to be drawn from the efforts to achieve the Millennium Development Goals, it is that addressing inequality and injustices is crucial to the achievement of sustainable development objectives. Income distribution continues to be skewed in favor of the rich nations and rich persons within countries. This gap has grown dangerously wider. Needless to say, inequality leads to greater discontentment and social unrest, as we have seen in many, many parts of the world, even in this country. At the heart of many of the conflicts we see today is the widening gap between the haves and have-not. It is becoming clear that the conceptual framework underpinning sustainable development is still loosely defined as the intersection of economic development, environmental sustainability, and social equity objectives. In fact, the basis for this thinking is to expand the gross economy, not the per capita, while reducing negative impacts on society and the environment. We have to find a comprehensive answer that addresses the three fronts simultaneously and equally. We are searching for progress with balance on all fronts. For decades, the world has invested considerable effort in securing renewed political commitment for sustainable development through international meetings and conferences. The main focus has been to establish the institutional framework for a green economy and social equity as a basis for sustainable development. Now, technological solutions to energy problems, a more equitable distribution of wealth, solutions for climate change, and more generous and effective development aid to poor countries are discussed. But this will not be enough. In the free market world, the way that each individual interacts within society and with natural resources is crucial to sustainable development. Therefore, a much deeper and more profound transformation of our mindset and actions in consumption and production is needed to achieve the path of sustainable development we want. A mindset based on core values, on ethics, shared among responsible parties in managing sustainable development institutional frameworks is equally important. These issues are at the heart of our dialogue today. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference has brought together people of great influence, including experts and practitioners from all over the world, to collaborate and share ideas. But we would like to more than just talking to come out of today's dialogues. More concrete actions are needed for a better world to emerge. More actions that everyone can get involved in supporting and implementing are equally critical for sustainability. As the chair of the conference, I would like to thank the co-host organizations, the Co-Roundtable, the Thai Chamber of Commerce, and the Thailand Development Research Institute for all their efforts to create a global network to shape the sustainable future we want. Finally, I hope you all enjoyed the conference and the discussions. We look forward to a strong statement emerging from today, as well as concrete and implementable outcomes for furthering sustainable development, success and sustainability in the next phase of development, both at the global and community level, depend, among others, on our actions today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anand Panyarachun, for the opening remark.